All right, so here is your November 2025 real estate market update. We're going to get into all the latest stats for the cities of Temecula, Murrieta, and Menifee, California. Let's go ahead and get into it. Hey guys, hey again, my name is Justin Short. I'm a realtor and team leader with the Short Real Estate team here at Keller Williams in Temecula, and this is our monthly staple video. This is our real estate market update for November 2025. So we're going to get into all the latest stats for the cities of Temecula, Murrieta, Menifee, California. But before I can get to all the information, if you are liking real estate videos like this, please do me a favor. Please hit like, please hit subscribe to the channel. Obviously it helps me, it helps my channel as we try to continue to grow it. And then if you guys have any real estate questions, you can feel free to reach out anytime. So you're gonna see my information either down below or at the end of the video. You can feel free, you can call, you can text, you can email me. Happy to answer any questions you may have, point you in the right direction, or of course, if I can help you out with your real estate search, you would love to be a resource for you as well. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get into the stats. So the first stat we're gonna talk about is the total number of new listings for each city. So we're gonna start with Temecula, and we're gonna start with last year. So in November 2024, in the city of Temecula, there was a total of 215 new listings coming up on the market. And this year, we are seeing just about 20, it's 19 less listings this year as opposed to last year. So this year, November 2025, we've seen a total of 196 over the last 30 days. That is a 9% decrease. So that is, we are seeing less listings this year as opposed to last year, and you're gonna see the same trend for all three cities, so less new inventory coming up on the market. City of Murrieta, a year ago, we saw a total of 229 new listings, and this year we are down to 201. So it's 28 less homes. It's a bigger change. It's a 12% decrease year over year. And then City of Menifee, a year ago, was a total of 267, and this year we are down to 255. So it's a 5% decrease. Just less new listings coming up on the market this year as opposed to last year. And I think that's really just a reflection of it being a little bit slower real estate market and people realizing that and being a little more resistant to put their home up for sale. All right, so the next stat we're going to talk about is the total number of active listings. And basically this is just, hey, if I want to buy a home in a given city, say the city of Temecula, how many available homes are there out there for me to choose from? Regardless of size, regardless of price point, just what's available, what's active, right? So a year ago in the city of Temecula, November 2024, there was a total of 676 available homes to choose from. This year we did actually see a decrease. We're down to 642 available homes to choose from. And this has not been very common. As the market has slowed, over the last 6 months or so, we've seen increase, but we are actually seeing less homes this year as opposed to last year in Temecula, which to me is pretty surprising. City of Murrieta is more kind of what I was expecting, where there is an increase, pretty substantial increase in inventory as far as what's out there. So City of Murrieta, a year ago, there was a total of 643 available homes for sale. And this year we are up to 706 available homes to choose from. So that's a 10% increase. That's a pretty drastic increase. So that is, that's more what I would expect, coming out of summer, and as we're getting these homes as inventory starting to rack up more and more. It'll be interesting as the interest rate continues to change, see if more buyers jump into the market and we start seeing some of these homes get snapped up. But for now, we're up 10% year over year. City of Menifee, a year ago, there was a total of 696 available homes to choose from. And this year, it's another pretty big uptick. It's a 9% increase to a total of 758 homes for sale. So, and that's an extra 62 homes to choose from this year as opposed to last year. It's definitely significant. Let's go ahead and get to the next stat. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get to the next stat, and this is the biggest change that we've seen in a while, but the stat we're gonna talk about is the average days on market. So this is just how long an average home is taken to sell in each city, right? So shorter days on market, it's gonna be more of a seller's market. Longer days on market, it's definitely gonna be more of a buyer's market. And I think this is a really good indicator to show you, how the market is changing and really what's going on. So City of Temecula, a year ago, the average home was selling in 32 days. And this year, it's a pretty big increase. We're up to almost, or at 56 days, so almost 2 months. That is a 75% increase. That's a big jump year over year. You know, we're almost at 2 months. We're almost doubling, you know, the average time of the average home is taken to sell. Definitely, you know, seeing that seasonal slowdown, and just starting to see, you know, homes sitting longer, seeing more price reductions, and this is it's a really good indicator for that. City of Murrieta, you're kind of seeing the same trend. So a year ago in Murrieta, the average home was selling in 32 days. We are now up to 49 days, so pretty big increase. That's a 53% increase. Again, you're over 45 days. You're getting close to 60. You know, that's a pretty big uptick for sure. And then City of Menifee, you're seeing a little bit longer, but not as much of a change. So a year ago, the average home was selling in 46 days. We are now up to 51 days. So it's 11% increase. But all three cities are getting pretty close to, you know, 2 months on average. Definitely signs of a slowing market. You know, if you haven't been paying attention, the Federal Reserve just lowered, you know, the federal fund rate. So we think that that'll start translating into a little bit lower mortgage rate, helping maybe some more buyers jump into the market. But for right now, you're starting to see that average time, the time the average home is taking to sell, tick up, take a little bit longer for sure. All right, so the last stat we're going to talk about is the average sales price. So we'll start with Temecula. So a year ago, the average home in Temecula was selling for $931,000. And this year, it's a pretty big decrease to $846,000. So that shows it's a 9% decrease in average sales price. I mean, here's the thing is I definitely do not feel, nor does it look like with my clients or my listings or anything like that, that home prices in Temecula have decreased 9%, you know, in a year. I mean, that would be pretty crazy. That'd be signs of like a true crash happening. I don't think that is anything close to actually what's happening. I honestly think that average sales price a year ago was a little inflated. You know, I've talked about this in some of my other videos, but we're doing some of these averages, you know, a few high-end sales and a few less low-end sales a year ago could have easily manipulated that average price point up. And this year, a few less high-end sales and a few extra low-end sales can, you know, manipulate that average price point down. But as I go over the next two cities, hopefully that'll make a little bit more sense. But I don't think there's been that big of a change in sales price in Temecula. But stats show it's been down 9% year over year. City of Murrieta, a year ago, the average home was selling for $633,000. This year it's up to $684,000, so that's $50,000 increase year over year. That's 8%. Again, I don't think average home prices have changed 8% either way in either city. I think there's some outliers in both scenarios. And then in Menifee, a year ago the average home was selling for $579,000, and this year it's $580,000. So just a couple $100 more year over year. It's not super significant, more or less about the same. And that is really how I feel the market has been in Temecula and Murrieta over the last year. It's a very flat real estate market. Home prices, we haven't really seen home prices increase. You know, I don't think we've really seen them decrease. I think they're pretty much relatively flat. And I think some of these, you know, outliers, a couple extra high-end homes, couple less, you know, low-end homes are kind of throwing off some of these numbers. It is something to pay attention to over the next couple months. You know, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think that is the case, that we're seeing any massive changes on price point. But as the average days on market continues to accumulate, homes take longer to sell, as you know, the inventory continues to rack up, maybe we do start to see that change. We just have to keep an eye on it. So hopefully that's good information for you guys. You know, you can feel free, you can reach out, you can call, you can text, you can email me, and hopefully talk to you soon. Thanks.